Welcome to Monza, where the crowd are ready for today's action, and we hope you're ready to see the world's best drivers fighting it out for that #1 spot. It's time for the Italian Grand Prix. With top speeds up to 215 and an average lap speed of around 155 miles per hour, Monza's reputation as one of the fastest circuits in the sport is well earned. We have 11 corners on this 3.6-mile track, with the best overtaking chance coming into the heavy braking zone of the Turn 1 chicane. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
I don't, Axel, but I will be starting once I get better internet, basically. All the lights are on and out they go. We are with Giardino, who seems to get a good launch. He's going to get past Declan, who of course started on the hard tyres. That's been his sort of thing so far. He's driven 2-1-2, but he started on hards each time. And Giardino leads then. There's somebody, I think it was one of the Williams, having to take the escape road slightly, but rejoins safely. And it looks like everybody's gotten through the first chicane okay. Just up to these guys again. So yeah, Giardino leads from Massi, very tight between those two at the moment. Valungas is P3, Declan in 4, X11 P5. That's some start from X11. And Chip Van drops down to the back. It looks like he's had a moment. And it looks like Bowden might have done as well. And try and stay as close to that gearbox as you can onto the main straight, which is what Declan has done. And here he goes. Well, Valungas came back and he had plenty of contacts. I don't think Declan was expecting him to come back like that, but the Alfa Romeos both alongside him now. Certainly giving him a hard time. Play to them, and there's a McLaren round. That's Chris, who's dropped down to P19. He's got going just ahead of Mr. Heat Gang, so he went dropped to the very back, but P19 he is now. And they're all getting out of shape. Whoopie's ended up round. There's a couple of little taps there, I think, but I think it came from getting a little bit out of shape on the curb, and that made a couple of taps happen. But he's got going. I don't know if he's got any damage or not, or if any of the cars around him picks anything up. The yellow flag's occurring right now. That appears like it. I think it's the McLarens. Yeah, it's Ronaldo. I'm just sort of a bit wary of that, because when lots of yellow flags start appearing, that can mean that the safety car may appear at some point. But not yet. Lycorius getting back past GG. On the outside now into Parabolica. It's gonna lose the position back. Now, who got the DRS? Well, that answers the question. GG did. Lycorius didn't. So maybe he'll learn for next time. Don't try and make a move into Parabolica. If he gave up DRS, he probably would be in P7 if he'd just kept DRS for the main straight. Oh, fatal. Lose round at the first chicane. Fatal. Come on. That's the safety car. Well, Junkie Emperor has decided to take track position. He stayed out. But we'll, of course, have to pit before the end of this race. So, sort of double-edged sword that. I'm not sure that that's the right thing to do, but I can't say it's the wrong thing to do either. I'm not sure. What we do know is if he pits, you know, I don't know, around about lap 15, 16, something like that, 17 even, or maybe even pushes out the soft tyres and pits around lap 20. Declan looks to try and get past Massey. Obviously, Massey will try and hold him off as best he can for as long as he can. But it's obviously going to be extremely difficult, particularly in this early stage. He'll want to put Junkie Emperor in between the two of them as quickly as possible. That's what he's doing now, but Junkie Emperor is teammates with Declan Mazda, so I can't imagine that he's going to be getting in his teammates' way. Stays to the outside there, and look, yeah. That's a very, very clever switch of position between the Astons there. Oh, that looked like X11 and missed his braking slightly. It's like they got round okay. Makes a move on X11. It's another driver that started hard, just pitted to the mediums. The only one as well, Volungus. Oh, hang on, Volungus started on the mediums. So he's got a pit again, Volungus, surely. He's gone to a fresh set of mediums. Oh, X11!
If you're okay.
Oh, dearie me.
If you're okay.
That's going to be a safety car. He is off track, so he might get away with that. No, he won't. No, I think we have. I think it's a virtual. Yeah, it is. It's VSC. Let's say he's quite a way off track, so I didn't really think that was going to cause a safety car. But there you have it. Well, Junkie Emperor obviously in under the VSC. It's absolute sense to do so. Declan is in there. Can't see any obvious signs of damage, so. You have a drive-through? Yeah, he picks up a drive-through. Okay. So Declan has to serve a drive-through. That drops him all the way down to 15th. Comes out, actually, ahead of his teammates. So, from both running very high, they're now running 15th and 16th, the two Astons. It's gone wrong for Declan and the Aston Martin team. So, moment. Oh, look at that's a big story actually. Look at Chardinho's energy, 70%. So Mass is 20. Massey to the inside. Chardinho opting not to use his energy to defend. And of course, it does mean he's got an absolute massive energy to attack back as well. So he's just got to stay on him as there's a yellow flag. And it's fatal by the looks of it. Down same chicane, so it turns 1 and 2. Chardinho gets back ahead of Massey at the front, but this one is Whoopi at the inside now of Volungus. Oh, if he runs out wide, is Volungus going to be able to come back at him? That's Lycorius who's all over the back of them. Looking to pick up on the scraps. It's like, oh, Whoopi's jumped the... missed the first corner really there, the first part of the second chicane there. So he's up into P4. Yellow flag, I assume is Chris in a McLaren. It is indeed. As he turns around and gets going once more. And Chip Van's round, lots of spins happening. catching. Just catching. Once one happens, that's it. You all start doing it. And now he goes to the inside. And we'll make the move into the braking zone of turn 1. We could come back across Hunter, take the race in line before braking. So done fairly. And is back into P9. So coming a pretty steady recovery drive from Boduk. Declan, meanwhile, is on the back of Boduk. So this is for P8. So he's looking to minimise the damage as Fatal is out. Can you believe it? He's caused safety car for the 2nd time in this race. He's scratched at Ascari by the looks of things. I'm trying Parabolica. I think he's shaping up to... Why didn't he go in? There's a huge gap. Well, Clements is caught napping there because a huge gap opened up between him and Whoopi where he should have gone. It's Lungus and Whoopi. Oh, Lungus. It's a bit... Oh dear. See it going a bit too hot into there. He picks up 5-second penalty for corner cutting again in 2 places. We lose Boduk and Chris as well out of the race, I think. Has that happened on the pit straight? I'm not too sure. It's a typical Monza race starts to occur. As, oh no, not Lycorius. He was absolutely up there as a potential driver of the day, and something, I think he's made a little mistake or something at the 2nd chicane, and that's GG his round at Lesmos 2. It's an individual error. GG lose the session, having retired out. And oh, we've lost Whoopi. Oh, he's ended up round in the middle of Ascari. And that is Whoopi out of the Monza Grand Prix, and there's a Red Bull round. That's monsters. And as far as I'm concerned, it looked to me like Mr. Heatgang left plenty of room, so I don't think there's any of that going on. There's plenty of room left. It's just difficult through there, and they probably don't know each other too well, Mr. Heatgang and Massey. So you know, it's hard to have full trust in the other driver if you've not raced with them too much. Perhaps wasn't the finest moment, and that gives Massey 3 seconds as well. And Heatgang picks up another 5 during that as well. So Volungus is the one in the middle of both of them. Chardinho. So Chardinho wins at Monza. Clements P2. And is my driver of the day. Superb race from Clements. Declan is going to take P3. Volungus will take P4. Lycorius is up to P5, which is just desserts really for what's been a superb race from him. Just had that little moment into the 2nd chicane that dropped him down the order. But he's ended up with P5 in the end. That's an absolutely superb result, Lycorius. Great drive, man. Massey P6, I think you've been incredibly unlucky. I guess the irony being that it's a safety cars, 2 safety cars caused by your teammate that's particularly the last one that's hurt you. Junkie P7, Chip Van P8, Bowden 9, Heatgang in 10, Monsters 11, Hunter 12, Bartas in P13.